You see where this is going? Now, we only pay interest only. You know, when you buy a house or a car, right, you have a debt service. That's interest and principal, right? If we were to pay interest and principal at only 2% interest on our national debt, it would consume right now, today, 45% of all federal revenue. Sorry, I might get a little nerdy with you. The CPA stuff is kicking in a little bit, but it's 45. But I think you can grasp this. It's 45%, almost half of all federal revenue, just to pay down the debt service. Now, in 10 years, when it grows another 10 trillion, which is projected to do, it's going to be 25 trillion. At 2%, it will consume, if we ever get to pay, 65%. And you know how Greece had all these riots and all that because something happened over there? That's because it became a bad debt. Their interest rate went to 17%. If our interest rate on our national debt goes to 4%, it's 90% of all federal revenue. You think that might affect your standard of living? We've got to stop the brakes, hit the brakes right now. It's not a game. I mean, we have got to get vocal. This is nothing compared to what's going to be happening. I'm telling you, we have got to put our foot down right now in a strong and forceful way. And I'm not going to be partisan about it because there are good people in both parties and other parties. But we got to elect only those people who are constitutionalists. That's my opinion at the end of the day. I don't care what party they come from, it's constitutionalists. Now, when the Federal Reserve was created, a dollar was a dollar. Right? And now, in 1964, anybody remember the silver quarters? Right? They were 90% silver, never 100%, but 90% silver. That's last year they made them in 1964. Now, I could ask you who took the silver. You know that was the people's silver, right? We put that in the bank, we got back these other coins.
1946 penny.
Yeah, sloppy. I like yours better. What is that?
Penny in 1846. That's what penny was bought.
Wow. Wow. That's neat. So, with this silver quarter, right? In 1964, we buy a gallon of gas. Gas was 27 cents a gallon. Well, obviously a quarter won't buy a gallon of gas now. However, the silver content from this 64 quarter is worth $5.25. Enough to buy a gallon and a half of gas. Gas has actually gotten cheaper. They took the silver out of our coins, and it was not theirs to take, that's a whole other subject. They took the silver out of our coins and devalued them. Are you with me? They devalued it. Now, I went over to Scott's trading cards and that the other day, and I went and I bought a silver certificate. Remember these about the same year? There's a silver course. This is the last year they authorized, 64. Now this is 1957, but it says right at the top, silver certificate, and it says $1 in silver payable to the bearer on demand. Now younger people, you don't remember that. I remember spending these when I was little. You could take it to the bank and literally could get silver if you wanted to back in the day. They had to give you silver. This is worth, back at that when it was made, $20. Now it's worth $1. Now I also found a gold certificate at Scott's, and this is a $10 gold certificate from 1928. Gold then was roughly $20 an ounce. So this was worth a half an ounce of gold. Half an ounce of gold today is 800 bucks. You want this, or you want 800 bucks? Now, another thing is I made one online. I found it in 1913 because I thought that was a great day. That's when the Fed was created. So 1913 gold certificates, $50 anniversary grant. So again, gold being $20 an ounce, $50 bill, 2.5 ounces. Today's world, 4,000 worth of gold. Now you take the 50 bucks, divide it by the 4,000, you got 1%. Our money has been devalued 99%. This is no joke. It's not unintentional. It is intentional. And I don't have time to go into it much deeper today. But it is intentional. I can assure you it is intentional what they're doing. And I got a couple of questions for you. What are you going to do when the currency is worthless? 99% gone. I just showed you. What are you going to do when the currency is worthless? You think it might have an effect on you? And they've already got plans for a world currency and a one world government, and we're going that way, and we've got to say no. It's too fast, stop. Put on the brakes. Now, kind of summarize real quick, like, so how do we get out of this economic morass that we're in? My opinion, based on what I've researched now from the Founding Fathers, is this, is that first thing is, we've got to eliminate individual and corporate federal income taxes. That puts more money in your pocket. Second thing, we got to raise tariffs to create a competitive playing field within the United States, a competitive manufacturing environment so the jobs return. Those items will now cost more, but you've got more money because you're no longer paying federal income tax. As the jobs return, now you're going to have more employment, and jobs are going to become more plentiful, and workers more scarce to fill those positions, and wages will go up. Now you've reversed it there. We got to go back and put our copper back in our pennies. How much copper is in our pennies these days?
0.
It's roughly 2.5% copper, 97.5% zinc. What's a quarter made of these days?
Copper nickel.
It's a copper coin surrounded by nickel. So what we got to do is the way we got in this mess. We got to look and just get back. We got to back out of the dark alley and go back the other way. Which means we got to start putting the copper back in the pennies. We got to start putting the real silver back in the dimes and quarters and half dollars. And then we got to get the national debt paid off, debt service paid off. Let's suck it up, get it paid off. When it's paid off, all those dollars, those excess dollars, are back out of the economy. Then we start to go back to the gold standard. In conclusion, it's up to you. They're not going to do it. You have to be so vocal, so adamant, and say, I know what the truth is, and cling to it. You can't let it go. Because they're going to finagle you. The Federal Reserve is up to so much stuff we have no idea. All the way they're compounding money and they're creating all this, and they've done it. They're the ones who have created all these excess dollars that are making them worthless. Things aren't really costing more, it just takes more dollars because they've cheapened the dollars. If your driveway was suddenly filled with, instead of pebbles, it's filled with diamonds, diamonds wouldn't be so much, and that's what they've done as part of the house. So that's my 2 cents. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And what I did in conclusion is when I wrote the book, the first half again is just all the weird stuff that happens in life. And I said, you know, they say the truth is stranger than fiction, and you can't make this stuff up. And that's what the first half of the book's about. The second half really gets more technical. It gets into some of the issues that I've talked about. But I got about 80 quotes from the Founding Fathers to back up my position. And if there are any speaking engagements anybody would like me to go to, I'd be glad to do that. So thank you very much.